Destiny 2 has finally gotten an exotic sword. It's called the Worldline Zero, and it was added with the new Warmind Expansion. There's a pretty time-consuming but surprisingly easy exotic quest behind acquiring this weapon, and that's where this video comes in. The complete guide for how to get the Worldline Zero Exotic Sword. So let's get started. What is up, guys? Rekkakas here, and finally we get to use an exotic sword again. So, how do you acquire this weapon? Well, again, it's actually incredibly easy because you don't really have to go out and kill pretty much anything. Unlike another exotic quest I'm still on the trail of where you're just fighting tons of stuff and doing very hard stuff. This, again, you basically don't have to kill a single enemy, and therefore you can hop on and be pretty underleveled, frankly, and still acquire this weapon. So, how you do so involves data fragments. It's what you're seeing on the screen right now. These little glowing circles of light. Now, I mentioned it was time consuming because you have to find 35 of these, and they're not really out in the open. So, starting in the background is gameplay of myself getting 35 of these data fragments and upgrading my data cache to eventually allow me to get this exotic sword. I don't think there's need to commentate what I'm doing in the background, basically saying, hey, go where you see me go. I make sure to open my map every single time, and also look at nearby landmarks to help you guys orient yourself with finding these data fragments. So, while that's playing in the background, let's talk about data fragments because there is some complication to them. So, there is 5 different kinds of data fragments that you can find scattered around. There is 3 for the 3 different elements: solar, void, and arc. Now, if you shoot them with the corresponding element, they're going to explode and you will have collected that data fragment. So, if you see a purple one, get a void weapon, shoot it with the void weapon, it'll explode, you've got that data fragment. Now, the other 2 kinds are firstly a white data fragment. This is kinetic / any damage. It doesn't matter whether you shoot it with a solar or kinetic or whatever, you're going to just have to do damage and then you can get that data fragment. The 5th kind is a Valkyrie data fragment. These are darker red, they kind of have the Siva electricity going through them if you look closely, and you can only get these data fragments by actually going and getting the new Valkyrie weapon and then throwing it at these data fragments. Those are by far the most complicated ones to get. So when you're going out to do this, I would highly recommend just having 3 scout rifles of each different element: a solar scout, a void scout, and of course an arc scout. And this is going to let you, sometimes you'll see in the background there's some ones pretty far away, like I'm even having to zoom in and edit the footage because they're so far away. Frankly, a rocket launcher also proved itself to be extremely effective. They go perfectly straight every single time. So if you line up your sights perfectly on a data fragment, no matter how far it is away, you'll hit it every single time. No need for recall or anything like that. And just one rocket was enough to take them down. Now, let's take a little bit of time and talk about the Valkyrie data fragments, because these are probably going to give you the most trouble. So, to acquire the Valkyrie, you need to do 2 things. Frankly, the easiest way, I would say, but potentially the more time-consuming way, is to wait for a public event. During a Warsat public event, there are a lot of Valkyrie weapons that spawn. You can just go and grab one pretty easily and then just run off and hit these data fragments. And there is Warsat public events that spawn near all of the data fragments I show in this video. In fact, you'll see me get 2 via the help of a public event. Now, the other way to get Valkyries is to use the armory cache codes. Now, this is something that already just this item has a lot of confusion over. Essentially, you get Rasputin's armory cache codes for simply doing stuff. Now that sounds dumb, but it's frankly true. Doing public events and opening caches, opening just normal world caches. I think some people have even gotten them from just doing patrols. Like pretty much anything that can get you tokens can also have a chance to spawn an armory code. And this armory code is used specifically when you're doing escalation protocol and you go to one of the spawns of the Valkyrie during this activity and use your code to unlock it. Now, it's a one-time thing, then your code is gone. You're gonna have to farm potentially for another one. Really depends on how many codes you have, but that's something where you don't have to wait for a public event. If you're willing to waste a code, you can just start an escalation activity, run over, grab a Valkyrie, and run and do that data fragment pretty easily. And that's really all the tips I have. I'm going to let the rest of the gameplay play out in the background, have fun watching the video, and then going to play the game, and then going back to the video and play the game. I know how these things work, and I'll see you guys at the end for the rest of the video. Alright, so you've gotten 35 data fragments, and you'll see actually in the map of Mars, down in the right hand corner, you can keep track of your fragments. So once you have 35, you're actually going to head to a lost sector. To orient yourself, essentially, if you go to Anna Bray and you're heading away from Anna Bray, outside into the public space, head to your right, and you'll see me open the map right here and showcase where it is. It's kind of like this hole in the wall with a bunch of hive stuff around it. Go into here and there is quite an extensive tunnel network. Now, about halfway through this lost sector, not all the way at the end, you're going to see a completely unmarked cache, but it's definitely going to look a little different. It's got some glowing lights and so on. You'll see it in the background right here. You open it up and there you go. You get the sword. So this is really like a pretty sweet reward for just going around and collecting random stuff. Again, it's time consuming, but anyone really can do this. The only catch is that some of the areas, of course, that we showed, especially near and around Rasputin, you're likely going to have to do the campaign in order to access those areas. And so, there you have it. Enjoy your sword that actually makes you teleport forward. It's a pretty cool exotic ability. Guys, again, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. Now, if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Now, if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.